What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Garbear Fitness. Today I'm getting ready to actually head over to Clearwater Beach today because my friend Nick Book, I'll put his social media information in the description box below, but he's actually a strength coach at D1 Athletic Training Center in Clearwater Beach, so I got like a 2-hour drive over there. But I'm really excited because I'm actually taking a week off from the gym, so I have today to train and tomorrow I'm doing legs. And then the next 6 days I'm taking off, but I also need to edit and rewrite some of my workout routine. So I'm gonna be learning a lot of be learning a lot of like new different stuff, new and different workouts and things like that today, hopefully, and I can kind of incorporate them into my current routine. But I've just been kind of burned out lately, you know, like my body's been having trouble digesting food. So I've been getting really bloated lately. Like it's been hard to hold a pump. My, focus in the gym hasn't been there. So I was like, I've been training on for a couple months now. So I'm gonna take, about like a week off, and we'll go from there. So right now I'm kind of just, slowly weaning my calories down and kind of going back into like, I guess, a normal mode, where I'm not like, as geared up all the time to work out and things like that. So I'm also going to stop my supplementation, like my creatine, my glutamine, I'm actually probably going to stop my BCAAs too. What else? Beta alanine, arginine, things like that. I just want to just flush out entirely of my body this week. And then give my body a break, because a lot of people don't consider the factor of like eating. Some people will take a week off and continue to eat the same way when they're calorie loading all the time, and your digestive system needs a break as well, because eating a lot of food puts a lot of stress on it, and it gets very taxing on the body to continuously break that stuff down every single day without a break. So I'm gonna pause this video, guys, because I need to drive safe, and I don't want to focus trying to vlog and drive at the same time because my attention span is 0. But yeah, can't wait to get there, guys, and start this new workout plan today. So the one thing I love about the Tampa and Clearwater side is just the way how bright the roads are and the buildings are, especially compared to Orlando, because the way the downtown, I guess this is Tampa or Clearwater, I always mix them both up. The way they both kind of look, or this part of like the area looks, it looks kind of like if you combine Jacksonville, Orlando, and Miami's downtown together. I don't know, I find like small things like that very interesting. Like I focus on things like that, differences in the cities, like comparing and contrasting them. And if we go across this big water bridge, guys, I'll show you that too. It's very mind clearing for me to drive. Alright guys, so here's that bridge I was talking about. By the way, that pink thing in my window isn't a ticket, it's just for parking. But here's this bridge I'm talking about. I'm getting across this bridge driving at like average speed. It takes probably about like, a solid 10-20 minutes, but interesting because like how long like this bridge is, and sometimes when I go across it, I just like to think about like how fascinating it is to like build an object so vast across a body of water. And I have a very vivid imagination, so sometimes I'll think about like giant sea monsters attacking the bridge and shit. I know that's random as fuck, but that's just how vivid my imagination is. But being around bodies of water for me is very mind clearing because like how beautiful and how scary it is to be in the ocean. Just because of how free flowing the water is, you never know like where it's gonna go or what it's gonna do, Alright, so after an 1.5-hour trip, we finally made it, guys. About to go get this workout in.
Hey y'all, what's going on? I'm Coach Nick, D1 Clearwater here. Welcome to our gym. I want to give you guys a quick tour. Follow me. We're going to start off here in our weight room. This is a state-of-the-art facility. This is what you'll find in any collegiate or Olympic lifting setting. You have the inboard platforms nice and hard, so you can apply a lot of force when you'll squat, barbells, metal plates, bumper plates, everything you can want. Back there we do have our boxes, bands, a lot of little accessories that we can use. If you go over here to the field, this is where it gets interesting. 50 yards, turf, indoor. We have sleds, sledgehammers, bags. If you want any football drills, running drills, this is the place to be. What's up, y'all? Coach Nick here again. Garrett and I were about to do some soft tissue work before we actually end up lifting. So what I like to start with is the bottom of the feet, which is the base layer of our body. If our base is bad, the rest of our bodies are bad. So what I like to do is get this a cross ball, put it on the floor. What you want to do is bring your toes up. You're going to push your foot flat onto the ball. You're going to roll from your heel all the way to your big toe. And you just kind of find different spots in the arch of the foot. If you find a spot that kind of hurts, drive your foot in about 5 seconds and then pull out for 5 seconds. You go back and forth 3 or 4 times. you should feel a little bit of relief. How you feeling?
Good.
Yeah?
I feel like it
Yeah.
deep in my arch because I'm like really flat-footed. And from standing at work, like there's this tendon in the middle of my foot, like a big tendon, and it
Yeah.
shit hurts all the time from standing on it.
Really? You want to switch feet?
Yeah.
Gotta get both feet, right? Yeah, but so what you're trying to do is when you bring your toes up, you're stretching out the fascia on the bottom of the foot. And we wear shoes all the time. We're never really walking flat-footed like we should. We're starting out flat-footed, but on the ground like we should. So we kind of lose that arch over time. But this is a really good way to kind of revamp that scar tissue, give it a little more freedom to move and almost unglue it. Y'all sit a lot throughout the day, a lot. So what happens is our hips get really tight, everything gets out of whack, and a lot of people have IT issues. So the IT band is just a giant band that runs from here down to just the outside of the knee, but the majority of it is actually tendon. You have a little bit of muscle here on the top that supports the movement, but you want it to be pretty tight. But all the surrounding tissues, like the quad and the hamstring, that's where you kind of want to hit. So that's what we're going to focus on today. So you're going to lay on the roller and make sure it's behind you. Plant your hands on the ground. What you're going to do is you're going to pull all the way up to you hit your knee, and you're going to go all the way down to the hip. And you have to make sure you're going slow, about 3 to 5 seconds up, 3 to 5 seconds down. It's called time under tension. What this is going to do, this is going to give the tissue a reason to adapt and a reason to change. Find any spots?
Yeah.
Yeah? A couple spots you found already. I see the pain face over here. Yeah, so it's a great exercise. You can do it every single day. I recommend it, especially if you sit throughout the day a lot. Let's go get the other side here. Always make sure you even it out. Unless you have an injury, obviously, then you can kind of focus on that other spot. Which leg is worse, left or right?
My left one.
Left or right? Oh man. Now, if you have a lot of issues with this kind of movement, I definitely recommend you do it every day for probably 2 to 3 weeks. And then from there, if you do it consistently, it should be maintenance, so you don't have to do it maybe once or twice a week. I'm to that point now where I can just kind of go once or twice a week, and I'm normally fine. He's breathing heavy over there. All right. So the next one I want to focus on is the upper back or the T-spine. Again, we sit a lot, so we're in this kyphotic position, shoulders forward, upper back is weak, and that's why most people fail on their lifts is they don't have that chest up, they're not in a good position with their posture, they're leaning forward. So what I want to focus on, again, like I said, is the upper back. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit on the roller, we're going to put the roller on that middle back. What you're going to do is prop your hips up, wrap your hands around your shoulders, and you're going to go all the way to the upper back, don't go on your neck, and then all the way back to that middle back. And from here, if you're feeling it, again, contract and relax. Push your body into the roller, and then relax for a second, going back and forth. Nice and slow. Give your tissues a reason to adapt. How's that feeling?
Good.
Pretty
My back's
good?
cracking a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It should. You're tight, man. You're not tight, you're tizite. You're in that whole other category. You're tizite, man. And then from here, you can even change it up with your hand position. So you can go hands up front. That'll get a different adaptation to the shoulder blades. You can bring your hands overhead and roll back and forth. Again, just different positions here. How you feeling?
Good.
Yeah? You look like you're struggling a little bit. Get a little core workout too. Oh man. But the whole thing with foam rolling is it's the poor man's version of soft tissue work. So there's definitely a practitioner out there. I have a guy, he's down in St. Pete, Dr. Maggio. He's awesome. He's really helped me. I broke this ankle about 3 years ago. He was able to use his hands to get into little finite spots on my ankle, relieve some of that pain, and I feel amazing. But this is a great way to kind of maintain soft tissue mobility and how your body works. Okay, so we're going to start off with a long calf stretch here. We're actually going to do some cyclo squats, so that ankle range of motion is going to be very important. So what I like to do is you stick your heel in the ground, you stick your big toe against the wall. The most important thing is don't let that ankle roll out. Okay, from here, keeping that leg straight, you're going to drive your hips forward, and you're going to get a nice stretch here on this upper calf. This is hitting more of the superficial calf, the gastrocnemius. And when you drive those hips forward, you're closing that ankle joint and you're adding in some more range of motion. You can even do another variation where you step your foot back, drop your hips, drive the knee forward, and then you're hitting a little bit lower here, more of that soleus type muscle. This is awesome for getting you open up for squats. All right, y'all, next exercise we're gonna move on to for our warm-up is going to be what's called the Spider-Man. So what we like to do is we get 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, a big split lunge position. You're gonna drive those hips forward so that hamstring is touching your calf. You're gonna place your opposite hand in the ground, belly button is facing the ground, and you're gonna drive this knee out. What we're doing is we're putting one leg into that bottom squat position, and we're just trying to open up the hip. So from here, you can turn your belly button away, drive that leg out, You can turn your belly button towards the leg. You can even drop your forearm down into the ground to increase that mobility. Make sure you get both sides. But very important here, keep that core nice and tight. Keep that body position accurate with that torso at about that 60-degree motion for when we squat. Oh yeah. Next exercise that we have for warming up the squats is what I call a monkey fucker. So you get your feet just outside your hips, and you're actually gonna grab your feet, but keep your arms on the insides of your knees like so. You're gonna go all the way down, keep that chest up, and then you're gonna drive your hips straight into the air, lock those hamstrings out, you go back and forth. I like to do about 2 sets of 8 to 10 of these. Next exercise is what we call a Hindu squat. So you get the feet outside the hips, and as you squat down, you're gonna push your butt back, drive your knees out, and we're going to scoop down at the ground and stand up. So I want you to break the squat down into 2 movements, that hip drive back, that knee drive out, and we're scooping up. It's a nice natural movement for the body, kind of gets everything in one motion here, nice easy flow. I like to do about 2 sets of 10 of these, really get those motor patterns warmed up, great exercise. So next part of the warm up here, we're gonna activate a lot of the stabilizers that we have specifically in the hips and the shoulders. They're very similar areas as in the glutes and the shoulders. They almost kind of work the same. So we're gonna slide this mini band around our knees, just above the knee. Now, if you got hairy legs like me, make sure you put the mini band over top of the knee. Then from here, we're gonna go to what I call our 6-point position, toes, knees, and hands. And I like this exercise, we call it the fire hydrant. And all you're gonna do is raise your leg up to the side and then bring it straight back down like you're a dog taking a piss in a fire hydrant. And you're gonna do that 5 to 10 times on each side, nice and controlled to really activate those stabilizers of the hip. Keep that core nice and tight. It's super simple. All right, we're switching up to upper body here. Now, like I said earlier, since we sit so much, we're in a kyphotic position or leaning forward, and we lose that ability to extend through our thoracic spine and keep a good posture. So what I like to do is I like to put the band around the wrist, stick your arms straight out, lock those shoulder blades in. What you're gonna do is drive the backs of your hands out, hold for a second, and then slowly come back to the center. And with that upper back, you're gonna feel a lot of tension there. Make sure you're moving slow. And this is gonna help set the shoulder into the right position, activate all those stabilizers so that when you're benching, pulling, curling, whatever the case may be, you're gonna have a nice stable shoulder and you're really gonna isolate that movement that you guys. The next one I like to go to is I like tops of the feet flat, we're on our knees, we're gonna bring our butt down to our heels. From here, you're gonna keep a nice straight flat back, lean forward, and then same thing with the hands, you're gonna drive them out. Feel a big squeeze, you're gonna feel it in your lats a little bit, and then slowly come back to the front. Yeah, so put your hands out a little bit further, squeeze those shoulders together.
Okay.
It's just on the top of the grass, slowly graze it. You don't want your hand to get stuck on the grass.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah. Back's on. We're gonna go to our last one, my favorite. I call this the karate chop. So we're up on our knees a little bit more. What I want is elbow at 90 degrees. You're gonna externally rotate or bring your hands out like so. And you're gonna go from your hip all the way over your head, trying to maintain that 90 degrees here. And you're gonna get fired up here and that external rotator on the backside. I like to do 2 sets of 10 to 12.
All right.
Let's see. All right, try to keep those elbows bent a little bit more. Going all the way over, all the way back. See that pain face already? Really try to drive those hands out. And again, these are muscles that are shut off throughout the day when we're sitting at the computer typing, just in that bad posture. This is really gonna help open everything up. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Next exercise here was, I learned it from Ido Portal, IDOPORTAL. Look him up if you get the chance. He's a movement specialist, really great exercise. You get a PVC pipe, a stick, doesn't matter. What you do is you let it drop. But you try to catch it as close to the ground as possible without letting it touch. Then you throw it back up. Whatever it does, you react to it. Try to catch it. So from here, I'm gonna let it drop, catch it, throw it back up. Wherever it goes, you follow. There you go.